And we are live.
Oh shit,
All
this
right.
is the Long Trip Podcast. We got a couple of guests today. Sam and Sam.
The Sams.
A couple of Fort Wayne's local singers and producers.
Yep.
You want to wave to the camera with like your full name and stuff?
I'm Sam Baker. Samuel Harness.
But you might want to change your mic. Put your mic up as like down.
Dude, do it like me.
Samuel
I did it right.
Yeah.
One thing we like to do
Breaker
before
one,
we
two,
kind of get the
breaker one, two.
podcast started off is like what we've done since like our last podcast. But we haven't done a podcast in a month and a half. But Gary will explain why.
So, if you can't tell, we're at a new place. I was moving for a while, or in the process of moving places. Got a new place. It's bitchin'. I love it. Took about another.
Furnished,
Yeah.
New, your first one to live here.
And
Yeah.
This is the new place.
Yeah, this is
this
the
is
new
bumping.
place.
This is
It's-
bumping. It was kind of hard to find. I was telling them, my maps just kind of dropped me off at the
The house
entrance
down
Yeah,
the
I
road.
close,
don't know why that
close
is.
by, and then I had to kind of.
That was my first time sending like the address, so sometimes it takes you right to it, sometimes it doesn't. So
But I know now.
you were the
so-
guinea pig.
Yeah. I found it, so it's all good.
I went to a house like 20 minutes away.
Damn.
And then that's what I messaged you. And I was like,
Damn.
brought me to a house. I don't think this is the right place.
That's crazy. It was 20 minutes away. I'm just going to
Yeah.
send my location now on it. I think that worked out.
You guys have iPhones?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'll have to get your numbers. I don't have your numbers. I just got your snaps.
Yeah, that would make
easier
things
that way.
easier.
But then after he got his new place, though, and it took like 2 weeks to get internet,
Yeah.
and now he has shitty internet. So this isn't a live stream, sadly, just a recording. But we'll figure it
But
out.
we're gonna
later
keep
on.
it live.
Yeah, it's
Of
still an
course, of course.
unedited.
No
cut.
cutscenes, no take
cuts.
backsies,
No,
none of
It's
that.
it's like a live video, just it's the normal thing, and we're just uploading it right after we get it done.
So what have you guys been working on recently? Right now,
With your music or
I guess.
job stuff too. I don't know.
what's going on in your life right now?
Yeah.
Well, I work probably close to 50 hours a week. I do engineering, steel frame buildings mostly, but
So
electrical
construction
design.
engineering.
forgot you
or,
did
Yeah.
engineering and shit.
It's electrical engineering, yeah.
Really?
So that's what I do during the day. I do AutoCAD work and look at blueprints on a computer
That's
screen.
fun
Dope
stuff.
shit.
I was an electrician for a little bit. For,
Yeah.
summer,
it's really-
running
it's
wires,
fascinating.
doing breaker stuff. Yeah. Well, plus, basically, if it's in the house, I can do it. Like I built two
Amen.
houses and with building trades in high school, and it's like we started from a hole in the ground to a finished house. So
It's crazy.
plumbing,
to see the
wiring,
process.
drywall, all of it I
The
can
cement,
do.
laying the cement. and all that
Cement.
stuff. Oh, dang.
Any of it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so that's what I spend a lot of my time in the week doing is just, paying the bills.
Yeah,
working
for sure.
working the 9 to 5, and then
Working all night producing.
yeah, working all night producing music, and I guess the biggest
Team
thing
No
right
Sleep.
now. Yeah, Team No Sleep, right?
For real.
For real.
What about you, Sam? What have you been going on in your life right now?
Right now, I mean, I just got back from Louisville, Kentucky. I played a little gig out there. Played a couple little gigs.
I've been to
and I've just been on the
Louisville.
road. Yeah, just
Aren't
been on
you
the
gonna,
road
like,
performing.
Minnesota soon?
Yeah, I'm heading to Minnesota here pretty
When's
soon.
that?
I couldn't tell you. That's when it's completely booked. I just know that I officially got it, but now we're just setting up all the little details. But
That'd be cool.
Oh,
to
yeah?
go out there.
yeah,
That your
Do you
music
like
is
the
now
travel
getting, like,
part?
across the country and stuff?
I travel in a little car, so no, it kind of sucks.
You don't like the travel
I
part?
don't really like driving
Kinda
and like just
grueling,
riding that
yeah.
far. Like I had
Well-
people driving me this last time out in Louisville and stuff, but normally I just drive and it sucks. And sometimes I'll have my child with me and his mom, so it just makes for an interesting trip. 'Cause
Oh,
he
yeah.
doesn't like to be in the car that long.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We just make the best of it. It's
But
fun
that's-
though.
But it's so nice.
The
getting
shows
your-
make it worth it.
definitely,
Yeah, I
like, getting
bet.
your
The money
music
and
across
the shows
country.
for
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
It makes up for it, and so I can do it again.
Hell yeah.
So.
And you've just been finding people to stay with as you
Yeah,
travel, right?
I mean, I was staying with my son's mom in Kentucky, her relatives.
yeah.
So, I mean, I normally just find a place. I went to Colorado last year, and I stayed with a friend, and went to Utah, stayed with my sister on top of a mountain.
Oh, that's
I
dope.
went to California and stayed
jealous.
with this producer dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of just try to
Cool, you
find
kind of
people.
build
When I collab with
connections
people,
and
yeah, just networking.
soon
Heck
you'll have
yeah.
like someone in every city you can just chill,
Yeah.
crash at their place.
I have a lot of people in a lot of different places, so I just try to take advantage of that. And
I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
I
can.
would too.
yeah,
Get your music across the country, meet new people. More people are gonna listen to it.
right.
For sure.
Especially, I personally believe you guys are some really talented artists, and I love your
Thank
music.
you.
Yeah,
So is my
for sure.
girlfriend.
Thank you.
I-
Yeah, I
we have
appreciate
all
that.
your
Agree.
songs like on our playlist and shit. So
Hell yeah.
That's
I
dope.
like, she like plays them all the time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But how long have you guys been like doing music and producing?
I started playing piano. I took piano lessons when I was about 8 years old, and I hated it. I think it was just because I like had to practice certain things, and I hated that box that I was in. So I quit that, and I went to playing clarinet for a little bit, and then bass, and I just kind of bounced around instruments for a while. And then I landed on electric guitar. I really liked that, so I started a band with some guys when I was about 15.
With the clarinet.
No, with the guitar.
Hey, don't diss
I
the
wish.
clarinet.
I never really put
Clarinet's
that
a
to
cool.
use. It
Yeah.
stinks because I put some effort into that.
That's cool. I can't
never
play the
used it.
clarinet.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so I grew up in bands and in studios, and I was always fascinated by the process behind the scenes of the engineering going on, and microphones and placement and mixing and production. So that's kind of where I ended up falling into.
One thing I do want to compliment you on is your mixing skills and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
listen to your
Thanks,
music,
yeah.
it seems so smooth and so clear.
Transitions.
That's
are
what I
great.
strive for.
So
Yeah.
perfect, and
Yeah.
it sounds really good.
I'm-
Especially putting all that time into it and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I'm all
it's worth it.
self-taught, so I just look things up constantly and
That's
listen
good.
to.
You always gotta keep
yeah.
learning.
Yeah.
Make your music better. And
Read
better.
books and listen
The
to
information's
podcasts
out
and
there. You
yeah, you
just
just
gotta
gotta-
find it.
you gotta search like crazy, and
You just gotta take
and
the
it's
time to read
and
it.
you can hear like recently I went back and listened to something I did about a year ago, and it was
Tuesday?
so different. No, it was just some beat that
Have you
I
listened to
had
Tuesday?
started. Yeah, I have
Recently?
recently
It di-
actually.
It's
I think it
totally
holds up.
It holds up, but it's totally different than what
Yeah,
we're
it
doing
definitely
now.
is. I've grown a lot. I had been
Yeah, you can really
doing it for
tell.
about a year then, and now
You can see a progression
little
through
over
our
2.
songs. Like we both just get better and better.
Yeah, I think so, and it's been cool to grow with an artist too, because we've kind of been developing, kind of narrowing down what the sound is that we want to do.
Yeah, you
It's
guys
like
got a
what
very
I like, what
unique-
he likes, and we kind of merge,
Yeah,
and the more we
you have
do
a
together,
unique
the
sound.
yeah.
It's super
Especially your
different.
EP when you previewed it to me and stuff.
Mhm.
It was good.
Yeah, it's funky.
I
it's
love it.
soulful.
What about you? How long have you been
Oh.
doing music?
It's a weird story, but so I played sports growing up. I was homeschooled for a while, and then I went to a private school, and then another school, and all that. And I played sports all the time.
What sports?
Baseball. Mainly, yeah. But I played basketball and some soccer when I was younger, stuff like that. But mainly
I played
baseball.
soccer, but not really baseball. I didn't really.
I
fuck
played
with
soccer for like
baseball.
7 years. I love soccer.
Really?
Soccer.
I didn't like all the
yeah.
cardio at all. But I mean, baseball, there's still cardio. But anyway, yeah, I was like kind of like a jock, like a sports jock, and then somebody asked me to like audition for her play, and I ended up making it because she wanted me in it, and some of my friends were in there, and I ended up singing in front of a whole bunch of people, and since then I kind of just liked music.
So you just like
More.
decided to do
So
that
I
on
just
a
decided to
whim,
do
just
that on a
like,
whim, yeah.
I guess. Just like
Yeah,
just
and I
jumping.
mean, my arm was already hurt and stuff from baseball and all that stuff, so I kind of just transitioned into teaching myself how to play guitar and piano and stuff like that, and singing. I would go to like this little bridge and sing under the bridge as long as nobody was there. One time somebody was fishing above the bridge while I was singing. I didn't know he was there, and I was so embarrassed because I climbed up and he was there, and he's like, "You sound nice." Okay.
There
But
are
yeah.
worse things you could have said.
Yeah,
But it's
that-
been like I
that's
think it's
not
been
too
like 10
bad.
years. 10 years. I sucked then though.
10
like-
years.
And I was a
yeah,
weird.
everyone does.
I was a weirdo.
Yeah.
I shaved my head and like I was just so weird. I looked like a hot dog.
You
I really
said
did.
it.
I really did.
It's funny. I grew up homeschooled too, and
Nerd.
we know each other from way, way back. when-
How way back?
But we didn't. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. I knew of you, I guess.
Yeah.
I hung out with his brother more than him, but
So what town are you guys from? Or
Fort
like-
Wayne.
you guys are from both
Fort
from
Wayne,
here?
Well, I grew up in a place called Roanoke, but
Roanoke,
That's not far from
Indiana.
here.
near. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So, Not that far from Fort Wayne.
No. But we've crossed paths before, so it's interesting how that we crossed again, and music was the
After how many
common
years?
theme. 12.
Something crazy like that.
15,
Like 12
I don't
years
know.
after we ended up linking up again.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's working out for the best. You guys have created some amazing music.
Yeah, he's
So-
exactly the person I needed at the point in my career, and I
Mhm.
feel like I was exactly what he needed at that point. Kind of like a guinea pig artist to like be making music with, but somebody who had talent, so it wasn't looking bad on his part and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Are you guys planning on ever branching away from each other?
I'm kind of branching off right now into my own solo things, which aren't really gonna cross paths with what Sam's doing.
It's a
What
different
we've
sound.
what we've been working on has been kind of his sound, what he wanted to do as an
Yeah.
artist, and he felt comfortable working with me, and
Yep.
and yeah, I think it's turning out cool. It's
Yeah.
a different.
Well,
We
no,
still
definitely it's
work,
turned out
and
good.
we still work, and we still like collab ideas and stuff like that, but we don't as often. It took a year to record the whole EP, and that's only like 5 songs that we were gonna use, and it took a whole year.
And we made
So
probably close to 30 songs,
Yeah.
in some variation of completion. Just maybe got a verse done and then moved on to something else, but we have a ton
long
of
time.
material that we've done together to kind of narrow down to what we really wanted
Yeah.
to put out for him as an artist.
so now it's just in the process of just releasing those.
Mhm.
So that's what we're doing.
So you have you guys are working on your EP right now, probably at the tail end of it, because you're about to start releasing songs.
Yeah, it's
How many songs is on your EP?
There's gonna be 5.
5.
Yeah.
And your first one's Genie in a Bottle, right?
Yeah, that's gonna come out here pretty soon.
Do you have a set date for that?
I don't. It still has graphic design issues. The publishing
Okay.
company
So
that I
annoying.
use and I submit my info to, they sent it back. It just said, "Hey, you need to like something different here and there," and they kind of critique everything. So I'm in the process of getting somebody to graphically fix what I need, and
Oh yeah.
That's
So-
what's hard about being an independent artist is you have to like kind of know how to do a lot of different
Yeah.
things.
You don't have
Everything I'm
anyone
doing
it
is
for you
myself.
and shit like
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
people with like labels and shit.
Yeah.
Do.
Yep.
I'm my own marketing team. I'm my own promotion management right
your
now.
artist, your
Artist.
graphic designer. Your
I have mentors. I have music mentors and stuff, but I'd say mainly everything's done by myself when it comes to my music, other than producing it and
Mm-hmm.
writing it.
yeah.
But
So when you guys like started to like link up and like knew you wanted to do an EP and stuff, like what were your thoughts on how you wanted it, like, and like how like the type of sound you wanted and stuff like that?
he had like these ideas. He had like a folder of all these like different beats and stuff, and just guitar licks and all that. And I think Tuesday just came about when I just started singing like a hook, and we kind of just went with
Yeah,
that.
he
It's
had-
always been kind of whimsical, almost. Like I'll write something, I'll come in with some idea,
Yeah.
I'll have a beat or something. It kind of always just happens there, and then it just.
I
don't know.
think we both are kind of into the old like retro stuff. And,
Yeah.
Like synths and 80s like
Yeah.
soundtracks.
Yeah,
and,
that's
like,
that. I really like you guys, especially your mixing with the singing transitions. It's always like a retro-y
Yeah.
kind of sound. I really like
So
it.
I
'cause
was, I was kind
I
of
like that
already
old
on that.
schoo-
He was kind of already on that. so
Yeah.
we're like,
I like
"Hey,
that
let's
old
see what
school
this-"
kind of.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what works between us is I don't know how to like. I figured out what synths are and like I don't know what all the names are of the things like
Yeah.
in the producing world. So I just like I'm inspired by certain bands like the Eagles, Hall
I've
and
listened to them.
Oates, Huey Lewis and the News, people like that, just 70s, 80s, and I just bring him like a song and I'm like, hey, do you hear that guitar part? Like I want a guitar that sounds like that, or I want a synth or a drum
Yeah.
that sounds like that.
So I have like a
So-
book that I kept for the whole EP, and anytime he like texts me some sample of something in the car, like, oh, we need this
Mm-hmm.
this whatever snare sound, I want to use this. I'd like, okay, what was that song? And I had this list of like references that I'd
You
go
would
through when
kinda
I was making
base
beats
things
for
off
him.
of
Yeah,
him.
when I was doing production for him, I'd just look at that to kind of get a closer idea of what he wanted in the music.
Sometimes that's what it takes. You're just like, that sound right there. I kind of want that, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
different. Like you got to make it different. But
Yeah.
you're like something like that. I
Yeah.
really like that noise.
Yeah. And then we just kind of I write as we go, or we'll think of hooks and
We have a lot of different
like
ways.
that.
Sometimes he'll come in with a guitar song just on a piece of guitar that's already done, and we'll record that and strip the guitar and just completely rewrite stuff to the vocals.
Yeah.
We've done that. We've
It
just
just
done
happens.
raw stuff. where,
However it happens, really.
Isn't it like a lot of you guys' like beats and sounds live in the mic and stuff, like a guitar and shit like
Like
that?
raw.
Guitar's
Yeah,
all
He
live.
plays
Yeah.
all guitar and piano parts and things like that. Synths, are already in the computer and stuff
Right.
like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
So, do you have like a meaning behind your music or anything you wanted to like portray from
Or
it?
behind this EP that you're about to release.
I know you did like a nice funky and stuff
Yeah.
to it, but
just to really show who I am as an artist, I'd always been like that person with an acoustic guitar making a video and putting it up on social media or something like that, just like trying to sing covers.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to transition out of that, and so I started playing some live shows wherever I could get an opportunity. But then since I had the opportunity to have somebody who would produce my music and could help me form my sounds into kind of just like a narrow it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's really a message behind it. Each song I write about different events in my life or something, but I wouldn't say like entirely the EP doesn't have like a specific message other than it's got a specific feel and it's retro, and so it's kind of nostalgic. I'd just say for nostalgic sake, but no clear message really, no hidden messages.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more per song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's per song, and that's why I chose to release. Normally, you would release an EP altogether, like 5 songs collectively, in one piece. But I'm releasing them monthly because they're so unique each, and they both have their own kind of feel. That's why I chose to release one each month. So hopefully people can listen to that and then take a month to process it or whatever, and feel that out, and then they're gonna get something else and a different kind of story, and it's just gonna keep people on their toes because it's all different. So
Yeah, it's a different way of doing it.
that's what we decided is just gonna be best for marketing purposes too. Just where I'm at and the numbers that I'm reaching, that we're both reaching. Together.
What's future plans after the EP drops? Are you like
I'm
an
just
album?
playing shows.
Just
I'm
playing
just
show?
playing live shows. I'm doing promotional tour, so I'm just
Oh,
playing
yeah.
live shows
Yeah.
nonstop.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he's gonna be focusing
Traveling.
on, and I'm gonna keep doing my production thing and working on my solo.
do you
Stuff
plan on
as
doing
well.
anything live and at a show? Or I know you work
potentially.
A lot and shit,
I'm
You're playing at the festival. You play guitar.
Yeah, I play guitar for a couple bands too. I'm a studio musician. I got hired to play for a country band in town, and then a hip hop artist too. So
Yeah.
that keeps me pretty busy, pretty busy on the side.
Yeah, I bet. On top of working.
Yeah, exactly.
Working,
and
damn,
producing
it just,
and-
that's
yeah.
your week right there.
Yep.
Most of it, it's hard to squeeze in time to
It
do
is, I
other
just-
shit, other
yeah.
hobbies, and then have fun doing
That's
it.
the thing. Music is kind of like my hobby and what I want to focus on and end up doing for a living too. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
full time.
eventually one's got to kind of lessen to make the other one grow,
Right.
Like, I can't be working this much if I want to really pursue this music as
Yeah.
hard as I really should be doing. Same with like this podcast that I'm doing.
Right.
I work a lot, and on some of these episodes, I'm not doing what I should be doing. I could be doing better.
It's
I
hard
feel
to
like,
keep motivation. It's fleeting.
yeah,
It runs away.
Yeah. Whereas in my position, if I lose motivation, I don't have a job, like at all. So
That's
I
the
constantly have to be
and you have a
answering
baby and
emails.
stuff, too.
Yeah, I have a kid.
So it's like you have to.
He's
like,
just
you have
Yeah.
no
more
choice.
than a year old. Yeah. So I'm being a dad and then also answering all my own emails and
Keeps
worrying
you
about
busy.
promotion and things like that. But then I'm also going to venues and meeting with people and talking to them about future shows and things like that and rehearsals for upcoming shows,
doing
Traveling.
podcasts.
podcasts, interviews,
Yeah, interviews.
stuff like that. So I'm constantly busy.
Yeah.
Constantly busy.
So that's
Whereas
what-
I wasn't as busy throughout the year when we were recording all of this music. It took us about a year because we started at the beginning of 2017 or towards the end of 2017,
Right. Yeah.
mid 17. I don't know, something like that. But it was officially a year at one point, and I wasn't really doing a lot of live shows. I needed to build my material and stuff like that. So
Yeah, now you
That
have
was a
some
struggle.
material, so
Yep.
just
Going
gotta
to different
focus on-
states, getting it out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, you do this like monthly thing at the Lakeside Park.
Mm-hmm. Lakeside
Tell
Rose
us about
Gardens,
that
the
and like
Fort
what
Wayne
inspired
Art
that
Meetup.
and like what is your plans and meaning of behind doing that.
The Fort Wayne Art Meetup is held in Fort Wayne, Indiana, obviously, and it's at this rose garden. And I just got inspired by. I'm always the one on stage. I'm always the one performing or talking or something. So I wanted an opportunity for those who didn't have a platform, the kind of platform that I have, and I wanted to share that. So it's an event where you can come and do any form of art. I had somebody do a fire staff, and I had live painting, henna, tattoo kind of thing.
Zion raps there too. You
Rapping, singing,
Freestyle,
drumming,
yeah.
freestyling,
guitars
painting.
everywhere.
Yep.
How'd you get
tons
this
of-
started?
I just started it out of nowhere. I was just like, I kind of want to just start an event. Like, I want to have my hand in like an extra event, and I want it to be free. I don't have to make money from it or anything like that. So I just picked a spot and I said, hey, come meet up. And at first, it wasn't specifically an art meetup. I just wanted to see how many people would show up if I posted something saying, meet me here at this time on this day.
Yeah.
And like one of my first events had like 70 people. And so I was like,
Yeah, a lot of
"Okay,
potential.
maybe
Yeah.
I can do something
Obviously,
with this."
you filled
So-
some hole, some gap that
Yeah.
was there. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I needed
definitely.
to do that too. I was at a point where like
Can-
I was really all
Can
about
you
being
move your
online.
mic in just a little bit?
and
I was
just a
all
little
about
bit
being online. I
closer.
wasn't as much in
Little bit.
person.
I
so
think you were
needed
fine,
something
just-
to
about that.
interact
It
with.
probably, I think gravity kind of.
And that's actually
followers.
how
Yeah.
I met you too.
Yeah.
It's through that and
Yeah,
here we
it's
are.
all networking. I thought it
Mhm.
was an opportunity
Yeah.
for networking too, because
Mhm.
that's so
It
important
is.
when you're an artist. No matter what kind of artist you are, you want to meet other people who are doing what you do, but in a different style or whatever it might be. And so you had a podcast, and I was like, that's a perfect opportunity for an interview.
Right.
Producer, you know, I've met a lot of artists that I've collabed with music-wise.
Mhm.
I don't really collab with them anymore, but that was kind of a past thing that had happened, and I thought it was cool. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's a lot of different
Just kind of
opportunities
creates
that
a
came out of it.
more closely knit like art society.
And so now it's pretty much the same people that come, a couple new people each time, but all
I
these
came
people
to
are
the
just
last
really into
two.
it. Yeah,
I love going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it opens
it's
up
really
tons
fun.
of connections. Maybe a photographer meets, someone who,
aspiring
does-
model or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
There's people out there.
or an illustrator.
Even
and
random
then-
people that
yeah.
walk past are just like, hey, what is this? What is this event? So I think it grows each time. There's always
Definitely.
something different.
Everyone's just talking.
Anytime people are
singing.
gathered having fun, everyone starts wondering what's going on. Like,
Yeah.
Nobody else is holding
Like, we
something
wanna
like that
have
here.
fun too.
Yeah,
Nobody else
everyone
is
loves
doing
it.
that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's art shows and stuff like that, but there's nobody else who's letting artists come up for free and do exactly what you want to do, rather than, only being singers or, painters or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So nobody else is doing that. So I was like, I need to be the first
Do-
person
is
to
it-
do that
it-
around here. And a lot
Is
of
there
people know
a
about it.
limit on like is there a limit of what they can do there? Like
I mean, so
you know,
far that-
chainsaw art,
I
you
don't
know, or
know.
some anything like that. Like
Come
You have to get
juggle.
stuff approved, right?
right?
Yeah.
I'll go and juggle.
I have a source of approval. Like they'll typically message me if they're a new artist or something like that, and they'll ask what the event's about or something like that. But I mean, I haven't had anybody that's too out of control. I don't really let. I mean, I don't want a whole bunch
to
of
the
people out
park, right?
there. Yeah, I've talked to
Yeah.
the Parks and
Some
Rec.
stunt devil come on there and said, "I'm gonna ramp
they
a
wanna
bus."
Oh,
or
I
something.
mean, I don't know. I feel like at your own risk, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Make them sign a waiver or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just been
But
cool.
but the
Everybody's
goal
so
is to not
chill.
have a real limit on it.
Yeah, there's not been a limit recently. I mean,
Good.
other than don't bring drugs and alcohol there.
Yeah,
It's the public
yeah.
park. There's all ages.
I
had
can
like
drink a
7-year-old
keg
there
all at
last time.
once.
It's crazy. It's
Keg
like a
stands
huge
going.
age range. There was like a 7-year-old with his parents, and then there were like, I had that drummer dude,
Yeah.
that you had at your studio.
Oh, the djembe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had him, and he's like 40 or 50 or something like
Oh,
that.
he came to one.
He's
oh.
kinda, yeah, that's
oh.
how I ended up meeting him. So I mean, I've had like 7 to 50.
I feel like
year-olds.
that. I
It's
feel
weird.
like this event could get bigger than you think it could.
Mhm.
Yeah, it takes off every single summer. Everybody's itching to like get outside, so I try to have it on like the first nicest day at the beginning of the year. And then-
Yeah.
I
Now
feel
that I
like if
have
you
my last one
marketed
here
it
pretty soon.
well, you know,
Yeah.
you could really get a crazy
that's
range
the thing.
of.
It's so hard being self-managed right now.
Oh yeah, I
So,
can
I
I
don't-
can imagine.
It's hard to
Yeah,
you know,
your-
do something
your
else
hands are
other than just
full.
post something on the social media. But
Everyone likes having a little bit of attention on them and of what they're best at.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah,
have an event
exactly.
where you're like, hey,
come
do
show
your
that.
thing.
yeah,
that's-
come do
it's
your
perfect.
thing.
And
Come
people
do
are
your
gonna
thing.
watch it. If the right person's there, they might sign you. Depending, I mean, whatever you're
Yeah,
doing.
you never
and
know.
Shit, so
Yeah, there's been a lot of opportunities that have came out of it, and a lot of different artists and genres, and I got him coming the last couple ones, and
Yeah.
just different stuff. I don't know. It's just a fun way to meet people in Fort Wayne.
It is, yeah, it's
I
like
think most people
networking.
know who I am around here, so
I've definitely met a lot of people
So,
there.
yeah.
And a lot of people
it's
I
through
already
like
knew
that.
too.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I'm inviting people, like I invited my girlfriend to come and stuff. That she went last time with us, but
Yeah,
too bad it rained and stuff
I
or
know.
whatever.
I
But
know.
I've never
How's
been.
the
I'm gonna have
weather?
to come and check it out.
it's cool. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
it's on his story, so whenever he has it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you have a page for it too, don't you?
Yeah, there's a Instagram page called Fort Wayne Art.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So follow
Instagram,
that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
follow
follow
that.
that right now.
So
Write
he'll
that
always
down, and
update.
we'll post it on the at the end of the
So
video.
yeah,
Fort
you're
Wayne
running
Art.
that too on top of
Yeah,
everything
I have
else.
that event and going on, but that happens once, maybe twice a month.
Yeah. And the cool
Tops.
thing is there's not a lot of planned out. It's kind of you show up and you
Yeah.
do your thing and
Just I bring sound equipment
everyone
and let
mingles
people
and
come up
yeah.
and do whatever they want to do.
Hell, you almost got 700 followers.
Yeah.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, we'll post the Instagram at the
Yeah, all
end
your-
of the
all your
video.
guys' links to your music and your
Cool.
socials
Perfect.
and everything.
Yeah,
will be
we'll
on
have-
there.
If we don't have them, just send them to us and we'll get
Sweet.
it on there.
That'd be dope.
So, like, independently, what would you classify yourself in a genre? Even it can be multiple or.
I would say maybe like R&B, hip hop, funk, soul, somewhere in those lines.
I would.
Yeah, I
would-
don't really
would
think
agree with that.
I don't
I
think
would,
about it. You know, I
We
just
both
kind
are
of make what
very
I like.
similar on
But
that,
I
about
would- I
funk
would
and
agree with
R&B and
that.
yeah,
soul.
I'm probably a little more hip hop than you
Yeah.
actually.
I'm like a new age retro soul.
Yeah.
yeah.
Something that you haven't heard before, but stuff that you have, like you remember. I don't
It,
know, it's
yeah,
something-
yeah,
I don't know,
that,
it's
it
new.
feels-
yeah.
feels
I would
vintage, but
agree.
yeah.
You're mixing like a retro beat that everyone knows, but
Yeah.
you're putting your own spin on it that no one's ever heard. So it's
not
it's
only-
almost your own genre. Really, it's hard to
Yeah.
narrow it down.
It's hard to classify what
Not
I
only
do.
that, it's like with the mixing and stuff, it just makes it so much better, so much smoother. And
Yeah,
stuff.
try
So
to come
it's-
at it
it's
with
just-
like a
It's not
pop
only just
mentality.
new good stuff. It
Yeah.
sounds good because of the correct talented mixing you do and all that. So
Yeah. I agree.
It's a good mesh.
You're talented. You're talented, boy.
You talented dog.
so
What else do you have for us?
what do you want to do like with music in the future? Are you wanted to do it
Oh.
full time? Obviously, you kind of already are.
I
So
want to do it full time. 100%.
Like-
I would love to ghostwrite.
Ghosty.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
do you mean? What's ghostwrite?
So
to
ghostwriting
people
is
who don't
where
know?
you would write
Me.
a song but sell it to an artist without your name being featured on it or put on it in any way. I would still get royalties, obviously,
Mhm.
but they could release it as their song. They wouldn't have to say, "Oh, it was written and produced by GhostySam" or
What's the
whatever.
benefit of doing it that way?
I just not. I don't think I like the spotlight as much, and
Well, how else do you get out there that well? You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. I
it's
mean,
that would be
networking.
hard to market.
I'm not
it
really
like that.
after it for like fame or recognition, I guess. That's not really my motivation. My motivation is just writing like the best song I can or
Yeah.
doing the best mix I can. So if I could work with big artists and write their songs, that would just be cool for me because I could
That'd
hear
be
my
dope.
stuff on the radio, but
Like,
it wouldn't
that
be
was
me. I
mine.
could still go into
Yeah.
Walmart and no one would bother me. But,
I feel
you
that.
know,
Yeah,
and
I would.
obviously
I would
those are
have to
high.
agree with
Yeah.
that. I'd never want to be that
Yeah,
famous
exactly.
where I can't go to a store that I just like
Right.
to go to
So I
and
just think-
without
yeah.
cameras in your face, kind of crap.
That's more the
That's
route
not
I wanna
my
take.
thing.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
would
that's
suck.
more the route. But at the same time, I'm like split on the fence because I love, like, I can sing too. I can do my own music, and it's so rewarding to do everything myself and just write a song.
So you would rather pursue like what you're doing work wise over like more so over like the music, or would you
No, well,
would
yeah,
you
I
like
don't
to
know.
be full time music, or would
I
you
don't know
rather
if I can.
because that's like those
have
are
a
two
commitment
major
problem. Yeah, I
there's
really
like
do.
two major different things you got going on
But
right now.
At the same time, I think it's important to keep separate interests. And
Oh, for sure.
it
for
just
sure.
keeps you versatile. You know, I
Yeah.
do different things. And
You're more valuable the more you know how to do.
Yeah,
100%.
I think so. And it's always been important for me to be into different things at the same time. I was a sports kid and a music kid
Yeah, same.
and an outdoorsy
Well,
kid. You know, I
I
kinda
wasn't
grew
a
up like
music
that.
kid, but I sports, outdoors,
Yeah.
hands,
But it
stuff,
seemed like most people I know
John
is like,
Mayer.
no, they were only in the sports and they didn't really
farm. Yeah,
weren't into
you
the
know,
arts as much.
I grew up on a
or-
farm.
same
Yeah,
here.
Literally, just grew up on a farm, and I don't know. My dad played bluegrass music. I listened to bluegrass.
Old
Westerns,
school.
westerns, old
All
school
that.
music.
Country,
Yeah.
hick town.
I
yeah.
think I actually was thinking about it today. That's cool that I brought that up and you said Western because I think the next direction I'm gonna go after I settle with these shows and everything kind of calms down, I'm gonna go a Western style. Kinda
On
just
your
like
music.
yeah, like a really old Western style.
So your
Um,
goal really is not to have a genre at all.
no, I
You
just,
just
like,
want to have your
I
own vibe.
Capture like I don't know, like I could look at a picture and write a song because I want to capture what I feel like that would sound like if I was there or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like I want Western. I want the Western feel. So I'm gonna start doing that. Maybe I'll write something Western. I don't know. But that's the direction I kind of want to go. Actually.
Yeah.
I forgot that I thought about that today.
Just please don't write about like breakups or
Yeah.
don't go down that
Track
road. It's been
years and-
it's
yeah.
been overdriven.
Yeah. No, it's true. Have you heard my song Shotgun?
Shotgun.
Yeah,
It's
that
the
is
really
kinda
short
that vibe. That's what I had in mind. when you
Yeah,
were saying that, yeah.
That's the style I'm gonna go. Or Uphill.
Yeah.
That's on
Yeah,
Uphill.
same thing. Same
That
thing.
stuff.
Are those on Spotify?
Yeah, Shotgun is Apple Music and all that.
I don't know if I've
Is
You
all
have
of
to
your
listen to
guys' music that you've done on those things like Spotify
No.
or I mean not everything
yeah,
you've done like
everything that
everything
we've
you've
released.
published
Yeah.
and released is on
Available everywhere.
Yeah, all major streaming platforms. Something like that. Yeah.
So your name is your name's Sam Baker, obviously, but you like GhostySam.
I'm
What is
Ghosty
that?
Sam. I was just hanging out with some friends, and I honestly don't remember. I think we were a little bit trashed at the time,
a
and
little bit trash.
I
Hey.
referenced myself as Ghosty Sam, and like everyone laughed about it all night. So I just kind of stuck after that.
yeah.
So yeah, and people always like, oh yeah, Ghosty Sam, it fits. Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So and it kind of fit my whole mantra with the ghostwriting thing too. So that's kind of why.
That's-
I
Yeah,
that's where I kinda
definitely.
choosing
get
it
that
above
connection with
other
that thing.
things that people
Yeah.
thought were funny that I said. That was kind of the thing. It fit, yeah, my mantra. You know, kind of wanted to be a ghostwriter, hiding in the background, just producing.
That's cool.
It is cool. Not in it for the fame. You're just
Kinda
strictly
like
passionate
Wizard
about
of
it.
Oz style, you know.
Yeah.
He was
That's
a real
the best way to go
badass.
about it, is just loving what you do and not doing it for
Yeah.
the fame and money. It's just because you love it.
And mixing, yeah.
That's how
that-
you make great stuff.
Y-
Amazing
It
stuff.
is.
And
It's
that's why
thank
the
you, I
EP I
appreciate
think is
that.
so good, especially with all the work and you put into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It'll
I've
be
been
definitely
studying,
worth it
yeah,
when you release it.
put in my study time.
We're gonna have to play some of your guys' songs here towards the end of this podcast. You know,
Yeah, do it. That'd
play,
be cool.
or at least play whatever the heck you guys want to.
We could probably even have you
show 'em.
sing live too if you
Yeah.
wanted.
I have my
eventually.
guitar in the car, but
Good.
I was
Do-
thinking about that, but I didn't see you
Brought it
bring
in.
one. But if you wanted to like go grab it like later in the podcast, you can definitely do it.
I'm down. I'm
Hell
down for
yeah.
anything.
I actually am gonna have to pee. I'm drinking beer anyways, so.
There you go.
But one thing I do gotta compliment you. I think you guys got a good marketing manager because the whole like releasing one song each month is like it's good because like you have 5 songs, so it's gonna be 5 months.
Especially
Yeah.
if they're
That's
that
gonna-
different of a
Yeah.
you know, it's albums are all kind of one vibe kind of
Mhm.
thing, and if
Right.
if all your EP songs are a different vibe each one, that probably really is the best way to
Yeah.
go
There's
about
something
it.
at the core of them that I think is the same. Like it's
Yeah.
not gonna be too jarring, but they're all a different take.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
But I like
Yep.
it because I feel like it's gonna keep me like interested for 5 months instead of keeping me interested for the one time.
That's
like
what
you're
I'm saying,
releasing
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So it's gonna
And this
Yeah.
is
make me remember it more.
Yep.
And
these are the
Yeah.
songs that we chose at like the cream and the crop. You know, we've been writing for a year, and these were the last
Yep.
that we decided.
I mean, if you think about it, if somebody comes out with they have to be really, really famous for you to want to like listen to each song on their album or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm not super, super famous. Like, I'm at the point where, in my career, the best strategy would be keep people interested long term rather than giving them one whole thing and then being like, that's a cool title, I guess I'll listen to that, you know, or whatever it is. So I think it'll keep people interested.
I
like you
agree.
said, longer. So
I feel like you
That'll
guys
be
are
the best.
talented enough though. Even if you did release it, everyone listened to every song. I think
Yeah.
all did. Because
I-
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure you previewed me all of them.
Yeah,
or, like,
I
the
s-
majority
yeah,
of
'cause
them.
Most
you
of
came
them,
through
I
the
think.
studio. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And they were all good. I was just vibing to all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you
I
know what I'm
can't wait
saying.
to
Like
add 'em to my
it's
playlist.
Plus, the
different
way
but
you're
same, but
releasing it,
yeah.
like, you know, a new song comes out that you really like, you download it on your playlist.
Exactly.
About a month of
Another
listening
one
to
comes
it,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm kind of getting tired of
Yeah.
it. I'm ready for something new.
Exactly.
So,
And if you like
it's-
that artist, you're gonna go back and see if they have something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like, I'll
I
listen
think
to
the
that.
whole thing is like every time you go to your Spotify, whatever, there's something new there.
Yeah.
and
It's important to
Yeah.
just keep on releasing music and releasing good music. So that's
Yeah.
why we took time to make it and then release it, rather than make something and just release it and just keep trying to put stuff out really fast. We took a long time to kind of just master it, and
Yeah.
we're still in the mastering process all the
Yeah.
way up until the day it releases, really, or we submit it.
I always change stuff
Yeah.
constantly.
You're like, oh, this will sound better this
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
And then you do
exactly,
this, and you're like tomorrow, like,
exactly.
oh, this sounds better this
So
way.
I
Yeah.
have to cut myself off because it
Yeah.
would never be done
Yeah.
for me. You know.
Yeah. That's true.
You're a perfectionist.
Yeah. And plus, by the time we're close to releasing it, I've heard it so many times. I'm itching for something new in there when really I have to think as if, oh, I'm hearing this for the first time. So, you know, I don't need to add 50 layers of things right there because
yeah.
it's gonna sound new to someone
And
else.
it's that's the hard thing about songwriting is I'll play the song so many times when I'm writing it, and then going and then recording it, that it almost just starts to sound like it's so repetitive. It's like,
You
are
gotta
people
step
even gonna
away,
start liking
yeah.
this? Like, I hear this and this, people are gonna hear this, but in reality, people are all hearing it for the first time, so it's gonna be different. So
Yeah.
it's hard to like.
And there
Put
is
yourself
like,
in
it's key
that
to have,
shoes, yeah. It's
have
weird.
like, you know, replay value too. You want to add things and have some depth to the song where
Yeah.
the fifth time you hear it, you should pick up something else you didn't notice.
Mhm.
Like I
Yeah.
think about that stuff too, and that's important. But
Yeah.
yeah, you can't lose too much track of the vibe of the song and let it kind of breathe and do its thing because it's 3 minutes, you know, and someone's gonna hear
Yeah.
it for the first time. And
We do a lot of referencing in the songs, like Genie in the Bottle that's coming out. We're talking about somebody who kind of acts like a genie in the bottle. Like, you treat them right, you rub them right, then they'll give you what you want. But at the same time, it's just kind of like, I don't know. You'll have to hear the song to understand what I mean. But then we have another song called Cali, and that's, it could be about a girl or it could be about the place. When you hear the song, it's like vague, but I don't know how to explain it. I really don't know how to explain it.
You're kind of leaving it up to
Yeah,
whoever.
it's up
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
personal discretion,
It's subjective.
honestly. It's
Exactly.
very, yeah.
Exactly.
Everyone have
Yeah.
their own perception of it.
hmm That's, and that's been my strong point, writing stuff that's like, it's up to you to decide what it's about. I've had people who didn't want to work with me because they thought my song meant one thing.
yeah,
And I don't know, I don't know. That was a big mess, and I guess that's what music is.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
people
it's
are
gonna
all
be
going to
subjective.
interpret.
so
Yeah, everybody's
It's
going to
all
interpret your stuff
interpreted, yeah.
differently, and that's the first time I've kind of had a negative response, so I kind of took it differently, but I worked through it, and it's cool to see now. I look back and I'm like, it's cool that person's spoke out what they didn't like, and made me look at my music in a different point of view and stuff like that. And
kind of brings to light how subjective music can be.
Yeah.
'cause
Oh,
someone
yeah.
can hear it and think of one thing, and someone else can hear it and
Think of
something
just how
completely
many different
yeah.
theories there are about
Yeah.
half of Jimi Hendrix music. They're
Yeah.
like, it means this, it means
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. There's
Exactly.
like conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
on
there's
songs.
there's a lot of conspiracy theories about all that.
But I still take things from my real life. Like, I just released a song, I Want You Back. It's the slowest song I've released yet, and I don't know. I took different bits and pieces from moments that I remember in my life. Like, the first time I ever had a broken heart. Like, I just went back to that moment, and how did I feel? What did I feel like? And, like, I remember I felt like throwing up. I just did not want to deal with that emotion. And, through different experiences, I've had, different relationships that taught me different lessons, and I kind of put it all into one song. And now people hit me up and they're like, dude, it's so relatable. Like, it means this to me. And then somebody else will be like, dude, I love this because it means that to me.
Yeah.
And like, they could be completely different.
There's like some type of thread of similarity between all breakups.
I mean,
right?
yeah,
There's, like,
most
there's
people,
Yeah.
things
it's
that-
all pain.
It's
you know.
pain.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
just
It's
describing
just a
pain.
difference,
Yeah,
yeah.
pain
A
of
good
loss.
songwriter can find those threads that are most people are gonna hit. And
But in a
connect
way
with.
that I'm writing it new. I'm not saying the same thing that everybody's
Yeah.
heard, and I'm not making the same sound that everybody hears on the radio, because I feel like
Definitely.
the radio has a way of drowning people out and like turning people off to music in a way. Because I'm so turned off to music when I turn on the radio these days, because something is gonna play. You're gonna hear it on one car ride. You're gonna hear it like twice, and you don't want to keep flipping through the different stations and stuff. So I feel like when you find one artist, you kind of like latch onto them, and like that's your sound, and like you kind of carry with that artist, and that's what people are doing now with streaming
Yep.
and the internet.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
so big. So I mean,
You can just make your playlist.
yeah,
of,
you just
know.
make your playlist on what you like, and you can pick
Everyone
you wanna
has
play.
the artists that they like, and
Exactly.
you know, you listen to their stuff, and you're waiting for them to drop new
Mhm.
albums because
Yeah.
I like that
Exactly.
vibe.
And then it
Yeah.
suggests, artists that it thinks you're gonna like. If
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
like them, and then
Yeah.
the algorithms that
Yeah,
oh you'll like them and you'll like them, and then you have this constant
Yep.
Mhm.
flow of good new music, unlike the radio, which is
Just the
whoever
same.
paid the
I
most
hate,
to have
I
the
hate
songs
the
on
radio.
the
I
most.
don't know the last time
I
I
hate
listened
it.
to the radio.
I have
No,
to listen to
like,
it
the
all
oldie
the time.
station, but that's it.
I'd
Honestly.
rather
I-
listen to nothing.
The
than listen to
producer
radio, to be
in me
honest.
does, because the production is the best,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They
Sometimes
they
I'll
paid
hear
the
something
best.
and I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I
yeah,
like
yeah.
really like that. Like,
Exactly.
but
I think
The-
I'm
like
gonna-
that, like-
but yeah, everything's a learning experience for me.
Exactly.
So even listening to the radio, I can.
you can
The
learn
only
most
thing I
things.
really like about the radio is like the shows, the talk, the morning
Yeah.
shows,
Yeah.
because that's the only damn thing on the whole radio that's different every day. You don't know what
Yep.
they're talking about.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
Because when they just play music, just play it over and over.
They just play the
And they
same
just-
stuff.
It's just like when you listen to so much, you just like, well, I don't want to listen to this more, play something new, but they're still playing the same.
Exactly.
song.
Mm.
Exactly.
So thank God for the internet.
And that's
Yeah.
where streaming comes in. Like, people are like thinking the same exact thing, and it's about being managed. And I mean, you're thinking about management and marketing. You got to look at where the industry is constantly changing, and so it's like, where's the attention going now? And I guess Promo God says that there's more. Is it more listeners on Spotify than playlists?
There's more playlists
Than
than
listeners?
artists.
There's more playlists on Spotify than there are artists.
So there's more
so there's-
consumers than
yeah.
there is
Yeah, so it's like
creators.
there's a lot of space to fill with new artists and stuff like that. So why
New
not make a
songs,
new
yeah.
sound and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and just fill in those gaps. Find where those gaps are and work your way into that, and find the new thing, the next new thing, and that's what people are attracted to, because they
Yeah.
don't want to just hear
The
Kanye
same
West's
old.
same sound. He changes it all the time, and that's what people want to
Exactly.
be on that roller coaster ride. And so I feel like that's important as an artist, to keep people on their toes too. You got to keep people wanting to come back for more.
I
Otherwise,
agree.
I mean, you're a
Otherwise they
business.
won't, and then
Yeah.
they won't
yeah,
listen
just don't
to
get
music.
stale,
Yeah,
Move
just don't
on.
get stale.
I don't like when people keep making the same.
And that's
song
why I
over and
choose to
over.
be
Yeah.
independent. I literally choose to be independent. I've had offers from different places to be represented, but I just choose to be independent because I want to dictate the direction I go with my music.
Mhm.
I want to speak the messages that I want, and I don't want to, conform myself into a certain sound just to be on the radio. I don't
Yeah.
want to conform my looks or my aesthetic or anything to match what this says you should do.
It's unfiltered. Sam,
Exactly,
you
and
know?
it's
It's
the internet
unfiltered
now.
Samuel Hart.
There's millions of people out there that, we can relate to. Even the weirdest of the weirdest or the coolest of the coolest have somebody on the internet they can relate to or
Exactly.
want to watch. So that's just where the music industry's at now. It's all internet based.
It
streaming.
is.
Yeah.
So it's about staying on top of that and marketing well and producing well and making good music and new stuff. So I feel like we're pretty on top of that right now.
I have to
We're
agree.
trying, Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're pretty on top of that. So that's what I'm excited about most of all.
I'm excited
Just-
for this new music. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. I think it literally about it every day.
Really?
So I'm just waiting for you to drop the first song. Literally.
That's so cool.
It's his fault.
Once
So
I've
is
showed
G.
once I've showed people that song "Genie in the Bottle," I'm telling you guys. Once I've showed a handful of people that song, and I'm telling you, their face lights up. Like, it's like, holy shit,
Like, I
this
wanna-
is so good. I want to hear the rest of it. And like, I've had the same reaction. I haven't had anything negative, and I've showed people that that I trust are gonna give me an honest opinion. And they're like, "There's nothing. That's really fucking good." So
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
what we
I
want.
mean,
right?
I like it so
Yeah.
much that I share it, and Carly shares it, and she showed it to her mom, and her mom's like obsessed with it now.
Really?
And my mom likes it. My family
Dude,
likes it.
that
Wait,
makes me
I don't
happy.
care.
Huh?
Which one?
What songs?
Genie and
Do you
Oh,
know what
just
songs?
you and you guys in general, your songs.
Dang.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
Shit. And one thing I respect about you guys and congratulate you guys is like putting so much work into like just like the 5-song EP, where like
It
you
pays
have artists
off.
like
Yeah, it
Migos
does.
who release like Culture 2, like 20 plus, 30 plus songs of just the same shit over
Yeah.
and over and
Yeah.
over again. I'm just like, I didn't even listen to the whole album because it was just like. It's
That's
just
what
the
I'm saying.
same
When you get a
sound over and
package,
over and
when you
over
get a
again, it's too
package
much.
music like of music, it's like overwhelming almost. And I feel like that's something that's starting to get outdated. I really believe that that's starting to get outdated. And I mean, you could have your opinion and say that that's still a thing, but I think that people want to hear
It's
new,
yeah.
something new each time rather than
Yeah.
the same thing, just saying it in a different
Just
way.
The
and-
format of
Even
like a
history says
album.
it.
Yeah.
Just look at the decades of music. It's everything has been a completely different
Yeah,
sound.
It was
Or
like
even in the
punk rock at one
2000s.
time, now it's rap and hip hop.
Exact.
and
Early
now you guys
2000s
got
has
your
a
own
sound,
style
mid
that's really
2000s has a
Everything
sound,
is
all that.
new.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's super progressive, and I think that it's starting to move away from releasing packages of music to here's a song that I wrote. Okay, here's something new that I did, and just keep putting out something like that. I think that's where the industry is.
I have to
Starting
agree.
to go.
Singles.
Yeah, singles rather than
like
albums.
full albums work if you have like a cult following.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying. Like
loves
super
everything
super
you
famous
do. They're
people
gonna
can get
listen to
away with that.
Everything you do.
I think albums are still going to be a thing, but they're going to be shortened by a lot. It's not going to be like a
Yeah.
20-song album
I
anymore.
feel like 20-song albums are just too much, anyways. I'd
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
have, like
That's what I'm
10
saying.
really good ones.
Yeah,
instead of
yeah,
20 of the
they're
same
really.
they're
I mean, you
fucking
can just see it now.
beats.
They're
It's
really
like really you
dropping
couldn't
them
have
down.
picked like 10 out of that, condensed it down.
When you open an
into-
album, you're looking at what title, like a new album. You're looking at what title catches your eye. You
Yeah.
have to go through the work of finding what you think, because you don't know what the sound's going to be. But if there's just one song and you click it and it's one of your favorite artists and you like that song, and then a month later they post something new and it's a completely different sound, but you love that artist and you stay with them, you grow with them. And
Yeah.
you get to see their progression. Whereas instead of having to look through like, ooh, that I'll see what that sounds like. You don't really have time to listen through
Yeah.
all. I mean,
Yeah.
people do, but
Plus,
I don't know, I think it's
I
just
mean,
singles.
in albums, it always works this way. You know, you got banger songs that do really well in the albums, and then other songs that just really don't.
that's why singles
Yeah.
typically end on the
Exist.
radio
Yeah,
or something. They're
exactly.
just the most popular, and that's what
Mhm.
the label decides to push the most, I guess, because
Yeah,
that's the
kind of
single.
like- yeah.
I mean, and that's what people latch onto, and then we associate, Justin Bieber with like a certain song, like "Baby." Everybody's
Yeah.
like, I know that. So we just
I just
associate him
remember
with
that
that kind
song.
of originally, and it's just I don't know. I just feel like it's easy
Everyone-
to get trapped in a box when you're putting out albums, because it's like all one sound, whereas singles,
It's just for me. It's like a.
it's more freeing for me.
Yeah. Singles is kind of like a stick and poke thing, and then if you drop an album, it gives like a really broad view of
Yeah.
what you were doing at that time, like
Yeah.
that vibe you're doing at that
And
time.
at first we
Whereas
thought
a
that
single,
would be
you got to
best for us.
condense that down to one song. So
Yeah, we thought that would be best for us at first. We created the EP and we were like, we're gonna release this all. We got the cover art,
but it was
the name, and all that stuff.
yeah,
but it was
we
just
kept changing. A
Yeah.
lot of the songs kept evolving and
exactly. We just kept
until we
growing.
settled
And,
into kind of what we wanted to do for the EP.
exactly. So then that's why we decided I think it would be better as singles because they're all just so unique, and I'm an artist that's not easily trapped into one genre, and he's not easily trapped into one genre of producing because he can do all different kinds of producing. So I think that's just the route that's best for my career specifically, and
Yeah.
this project for
I have
us.
to
Which has
agree.
kind of been my launch pad project
Yeah.
too with Sam, so we kind of took off with this together.
Yep.
And
So-
I've learned a lot of what I've learned through running into problems with trying to do what he wanted, and
Yeah.
it was a cool learning process for me too.
Yep. We were supposed to session tonight, but
Yeah.
they ruined it. I'm just kidding. No.
I mean, you got
But-
to session a little bit, be singing later. So,
True.
It's true.
There you go.
so after the EP drops, what are your plans, like music-wise? Like, you want to do like another EP, maybe not even together, but like with someone else? Are you doing just singles or just by yourself? Or I know you said you want to be like touring and stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean,
bit.
I'm just on the road with different shows now, so I'm kind of really just trying to focus on that because that's so much effort by itself, booking shows and keeping up with them and keeping in contact and
It's like the follow through of releasing a project.
yeah, it's just definitely the follow through, like a promotional tour, just promoting all my new stuff and playing it live. So I mean, my foreseeable future is very, very foggy right now for me. It's just kind of like what's ahead of me that I can see right now, and that's just live shows. But I think eventually, like I'll actually probably come back to him and we'll see where we're at, and if he's at a place where he's got his stuff out, because he's starting to release stuff now too, like running and all that.
Yeah.
So
I have one song out right now. I have 4 or 5 fairly close to being done. So
I plan on probably sticking with him because he understands what I say. But as of right now, he's working on something different than I am, and I'm working on the follow through of the project that he helped me with. So, it'll all probably
that's
come
the
back.
thing. Yeah, we got
together.
the
your
ball
paths
going,
will
and then
cross.
you're gonna carry with that.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
we'll
do
just see
my
where
thing, and
it goes.
And yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
There's not really other producers that. I gotta be careful to say this, but in this area that we live, I wouldn't say there's very many well-known producers. I wouldn't say there's very many people that can be like, I don't know, identified as, oh, that's the producer. Like, that's the person who makes the beats and makes the music.
I
and
would
stuff.
agree.
Yeah. So when people see him in like my pictures or something, or in person, like they notice him as that's the person that like made that song. Like that person put that song together, and then they notice me as that's the person who sang it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a team. You're associated together, so we're
Yeah.
always gonna be associated together.
Kind of
because
have
these
like
projects.
I would,
public persona, together.
No
Yeah.
matter where you go, everyone's gonna look at where you started.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. So, and now we even have people that'll come up and that I've never even heard of that'll say that they know who he is or something like that, or I don't know. Just
People
weird
always
stuff.
ask me if I know you or whatever. Say hi.
Just
say
stuff out in
this.
public. It's weird.
Sorry, I always forget. Sorry.
Yeah. I actually choose not to go to really public areas anymore. Not because I'm like so famous that it's just like everybody's stopping me and I can't walk, but there's a side of me that's kind of like doesn't like that attention too. I love performing. I love being on stage. I love making music. I love writing music. But when it comes to the personal connection, that's what I'm working on right now. And that's why I have the event too, at the Fort Wayne Art event. It's just I'm working on my personal connection with people, because I kind of get anxiety when I'm around a lot of people, or if your attention's they're all on you, and then you have to go out and just socialize with them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you have to answer all these questions about yourself, and like
And it
I don't
is
know.
different. Like
I'm sure
being
you're
able to
used to it.
focus on your art while you're in a lot of people, and like, do this thing that you've done.
I kind of forget
bunch
that
of
more
times
people
and-
are listening to it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, more people are just like listening.
Yeah.
When
and-
you're performing, it's so different than
Yeah.
having a lot of attention just
I
wherever.
mean,
yeah.
It's hard to, get big and still separate like a personal life.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, everyone wants to have the, separate time away
Yeah.
from all that,
Yeah.
with the family and,
Yeah,
it's
very true. And I'm not at the point where it's like so overwhelming that I don't have time for anything, or I just can't do anything out in public anymore. It's not at that point.
Yeah.
But it is at the point where I do have a lot of people that come up to me and will want to talk or ask me questions or something like that, and that's fine. But at some point, I start to get anxious, and it's not even voluntary. It kind of just starts to happen, and I kind of forget when I'm making music. I have fans. I have people who look up to me. I have people who listen to my music.
Just want to
And
talk
just keep
to you
up with it, and
'cause
just
they
want to
know
talk
who
to
you
me,
are,
and
yeah.
want to
Yeah.
just say that they've met me and talk to me.
I bet it would
So,
be hard to remember
it's
that when you're
different.
just going to the store and you're like, I just needed eggs, and
Yeah.
now
I
I'm
spent a
now
whole
it's
year.
yeah.
I literally
Yeah.
spent a whole year making the music that these people like now. So I spent a whole year confined in the studio just writing all this stuff. And I mean, people knew who I was, but at that point they didn't know what I was working on. And now, as they hear these projects that I came out with, there's people that are latching on my music, because I model also. And so there's people that follow me in the modeling world, but then also music world. So I don't know.
You
It's been
model
different.
some too, don't you? I see pictures
That's
on your
kind of
Instagram a
just
lot.
been a very recent thing. Yeah, I did a shoot with Samuel for his EP, and I had a couple photographers hit me up, so I've kind of been branching into that a little bit, which is cool.
That is cool. You could model if you wanted to.
I
kinda
mean,
wish I looked like
stand
him.
around and make money. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So always explore the options that you have, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. I shot for Timberland once last year, I
Hell yeah.
That was last year. Yeah, I shot for Timberland, and there.
Yeah,
I
you're
sh-
like
2
actual
days.
model,
Yeah, Lily's talent agency. Shout out. But no, it was a 2-day shoot, and each day was like 12 hours plus. Like we were working a lot, and just even if you're not the person getting your picture taken, you're in the trailer like getting ready for the next.
So you're on the
set,
clock
or
still.
you're on the clock all day.
Yeah.
You're standing around. It gets hot, and I mean you get food and stuff, but
Do
it was
they,
a
like, fan you with
long
banana
day.
leaves and like feed you grapes and
I
stuff?
wish. We got our own trailer and like stylists and stuff like that, and makeup and food. But I
That
mean, it's
sounds like
not
a
all
good-
that
that
it
sounds like a
sounds
good
nice.
life.
But if you do that for 12 hours straight and you're standing in the same area and
Yeah.
you just start to kind of get anxious or
Plus,
just
if it's like really hot and humid. and
it
all
was
this
very
nonsense.
hot, and we were shooting a winter scene. They had a
Oh, that
snowmaker
sounds
machine,
not
so they
great.
were like blowing fake snow on us and stuff. But we were like sweating, so like in between shoots, they would like come up and like dap all this sweat off of us, and this makeup would be dripping and just all that. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it was necessarily fun, but I mean, the fact that I saw myself in stores was fun, and people sent me pictures and them being like,
Oh,
"Hey,
yeah,
I saw you
yeah,
like
proud
all
of
over."
that.
So
Yeah,
Seeing
for
myself
sure.
in the store for modeling or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Cool as hell.
it was cool. It's a good feeling.
Hey,
So I've seen myself online and in
hey,
stores
there's
and
me.
stuff.
Hey, me.
Yeah.
What's up,
But
me?
then I see myself, and it's just like music. Like once it's out, I'm like, I should have not done that. Like I should have posed this way. I should have like
Yeah,
done
if you
this with
knew
my
you were gonna
smile. It's
s-
just like
everyone was gonna see that
Yeah.
picture of you.
You're your hardest critic.
No,
Yeah,
that was my
literally.
bad side. Damn.
Especially
Oh.
yeah, perfectionist and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just like music. Once stuff's out, I'm like, I could have changed that. Oh,
Oh,
I
I
could have done this.
know.
I could have done that. But it's kind of just committing to something and just going with it and trusting trusting your
That's
process.
one thing art has opened my eyes to. Is like art is never really done. Like they just decided to stop it there.
Yeah.
Every artist
That's
I
true.
talk to, it's the same way. So
Yeah.
that made me look at art differently. Like this was some long process, and
It's about dead, but yeah.
you never know how something started and what it.
Is your
came out
boulder
as, and
dead?
Yeah. That's
crazy.
true.
Huh?
Trade.
That's true.
So, do you guys have anything like coming out with your EP, like a music video or like any extra shit, or do you like ever want to do stuff like that, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
We just need to find the right person to collaborate with, which we have a couple options.
Yeah, well, I think we have a couple options. It's more about being willing to make enough money to invest in yourself. So it costs money to do those things. Costs money to pay for music
Yeah,
videos and stuff
right.
like that. And right now, my money is all turning into being able to like get me to the next show and then make a little bit extra. I'm just reinvesting in that right now. Whereas at one point, I mean, some of my money goes into my promotion, like being added onto playlists and things like that. But mainly it's about the turnaround for my shows right now. But yeah, we've had opportunities for music videos and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're about almost an hour in, and so we talked about your music for about an hour. We're gonna kind of transition to questions, like personal questions about you, like not like super personal, but
Yeah.
like just like your own subjective opinions on certain things.
Yeah.
So if there's any like
Get to
last-
know you
any,
in a
like,
different
last
way.
things about
Yeah.
your music you want to say, or
I don't
On
think so.
Spotify, check it out.
Look out. We're
Sam
all the
coming.
links will be
Awareness.
below.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
links are below. All that stuff. It's
yeah.
really, really unique.
Definitely check them out. Their music
Alright,
is
yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
So, do you have any tattoos? Obviously, he has a.
I was just talking about this with my family last night.
I'm actually gonna have to
I was
pee.
trying to convince them that
Thank you.
I'm way more of a rebel. Ooh, what is that?
And if you want to hit this, you can hit this. Well, since he's peeing, you want to go grab your guitar and you can continue to talk if you
You can
want.
Yeah.
if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I was trying to convince my family that I'm the rebel because I don't have tattoos, and the amount of people that I know that don't have tattoos is less than the people that do.
I feel ya.
You know, it's different now.
I feel like at one point having a tattoo was being a rebel, but now everyone has them. Everyone has very similar tattoos and stuff. That's why when I get tattoos, they're all custom made. Like this sleeve I have right here is custom made tribal and shit. No one else in the world has it. and
That's
shit
how
like
I would
that.
do it. See,
And
yeah.
then like I have another one in November that's gonna be put here. But do you ever think you might like get one?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to. I just haven't yet.
What do you want? What are you
I
looking for?
I come up with an idea and I don't tell anyone, and I just think about it for about 6 months. If I still like it, then I plan on getting it. Right now, all I have decided on for sure is I want a poppy sleeve on my right arm. So it'd be like, bright red flowers. Pretty spaced out on the flowers, but then I want a bunch of green leaves and stuff. So I have to think about it for so long.
That's what I did with mine, because like they're like, I don't want to get the fucking surgery thing, get them off, because then it's gonna just fuck up the color of my skin and shit like that. So like before I got this one, I was just like, I'm gonna think about it for a few months.
Yeah.
And if I'm still really interested in it, then I'm gonna schedule that bitch and pay for it, and that's what I did.
And I have a
And the
homie
next
who
one-
just started tattooing. She's amazing. I definitely want to go with her. And I'm going to trade, like, doing a song with her, and she's going to give me
Who,
a
Erin?
tattoo. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so
I feel you.
I'm
So-
stoked for that. I just have to, decide. I'm very, like, logical and thought out about that stuff. I wish I could be just more, whatever. I'm just going to get a 4-leaf clover, Yeah. Who
Thank you.
cares? But
Yep.
I'm not. I'm too...
You can hit
I gotta
that
think
too
about
if you
it.
ever want.
What is this? The same thing?
It's called Lava Luau. It's like
What,
Different
what Are these,
flavor.
are these like new age cigarettes?
it's
or
5%
something?
Nick also.
Nick. Nicotine. Don't smoke cigarettes. Smoke weed.
Cigarettes so
Yes.
bad.
But obviously you got a lot of tattoos, so
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, that thing will wreck you. I hit it earlier, and I was sitting here fucked up for a second.
Yeah. That's like
Really
the
hit
next
that.
level. That's the roof. I've hit the roof. I don't want to go any higher.
so what are some of your favorite tattoos, and do you have any meaning behind them, or?
All of them have meaning except for this arm, mainly. This arm is
I see
all
that.
stick and poke, like where you take a needle and you dip it in.
Oh, no
Ink and
shit. Like,
Do that, yeah.
where do you get that done at?
At a party drunk. So
That's
hit me up if you wanna
normally.
go to a
I
party drunk.
I mean, some people get them
Sounds
done by
about
like
right.
an
Yeah.
old Indian that does that shit.
pretty
but
much. That's what people are like. Is that cave drawings?
Believe me, I know
think
all
they
about the
still
whole
do that in,
party
like, Tibet or
tattoos.
something, don't they?
Yeah, they do. There's like, there's traditional tattoos where it's like that.
Yeah, they like tap a
Definitely.
little.
Traditional
I'm
style.
sure those are
How what's
Oh
the
my
pain
gosh, yeah.
difference? Is how
Oh.
bad does the stick and poke hurt versus the
You know
other
what?
ones?
This hurt on my wrist right here more than my neck. I got my neck done, and that's just kind of comes around on the Adam's apple. Even on the Adam's apple, dudes would know that would hurt, but this hurt
Definitely.
more, and I don't know why. You wouldn't
I-
think that my
to
arm
be
would
honest,
hurt.
I think it's different for every person, because I've had like people say like
Everyone
my
always
arm,
says
when I
right
get up
here.
hurt, and
Everyone's
other
like,
people
oh,
were
don't
like,
do it
that
there.
didn't hurt, but then their ribs hurt. But
Mhm.
when I got my rib tattoo, I was perfectly fine. I didn't feel like it
Everyone
hurt.
tells me
Obviously, a little
rib
sting,
tattoos
but
are the worst.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah.
But I was
Yeah.
perfectly fine with mine. It
I
didn't
knew
hurt
it.
that bad. Like it hurt way
just
less
jealous,
than this one,
yeah.
to be honest.
Just jealous, man.
Yeah.
Swear.
So,
That's true.
what are some meanings of like some of your tattoos or your biggest ones?
Yeah, I have a giraffe. That's for my mom. That's her favorite animal. On the inside of my arm, I have a plane driving away from like the world. I
Mhm.
could turn it how you can see it, but yeah. And it says Tixidi, which is Greek, and that means travel. And I got that from somebody a long time ago, and I love traveling.
How old were you on your first tattoo?
18.
18?
Yeah, I got a Bible verse up here, and that's the only thing I was allowed to get. Like, I convinced my parents to get
Yeah.
me a tattoo for my 18th birthday, and it would be a Bible verse. So, all more reason for them to say yeah. So, yeah, I got that, and ever since I got that, I was, like, addicted. So,
I'm addicted too. It's just I need the money to do.
Yeah, it
I
costs
have a lot of
money.
money on my body right
Especially
now.
because like I want my whole arms all the way around.
Yep.
Fucking tatted up, both of them, my chest, my majority of my back, or like the top half.
It costs
Some
a
of
lot.
my legs and my calf and shit. But that's not.
So you're
gonna
going
be cheap.
You're going balls deep.
I already have like my next 8 tattoos. planned out, bro.
Alright.
Yeah.
I don't have any tattoos yet, but the only thing that's stopping me is money.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's expensive.
Got bills to
It
pay
is. And
first.
especially like you want to go to someone who's like
Priorities.
good, and they're not
Yeah.
gonna let you pay cheap.
Oh no.
Like the dude who did this one was
Don't
like
skimp
$100
on a
an hour.
tattoo.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine
got a-
with
I got a
paying
good
whatever
deal
the
on
fuck
that.
someone good is charging. I'm like, you charging that much? I guess that's what I'm paying because I want it good.
Right,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
You don't want it fucked up and
No.
some amateur who's doing it and shit. I let some amateur like do like.
I had an
lettering or
amateur
something
do a
like
Yeah.
lot
that,
of mine,
but
yeah.
Yeah.
Or like small ones.
Yeah.
He
They were
did
just
the
it was just stuff
clouds
I
look
wanted to
good.
remember. like
Yeah.
my whole life. They all represent specific personal things, so it's like they're all things I wanted to remember. So there's not necessarily a theme. That's just it goes right back to my music. Like even before I started making music seriously, I had tattoos, and it's just like I'm not easily defined into like one thing. I don't like theme. Like I don't know how to explain it. I just don't have a theme with my tattoos. And
I wouldn't either. Like this one's gonna be like my tribal one. I'm planning on putting like a floral one up
That'd be
here
cool.
and something else up here.
That'd
be
on
so
my
cool.
chest and shit
Do it.
like that. It's
So
just gonna be
I
all
love
over the place.
floral stuff. I want to do.
My first
yeah.
one's
wanna
gonna
get, like,
be
a geometric
expensive.
floral.
That's why I haven't got it
geometric
yet.
ones are nice.
I'm
Probably
gonna get
roses.
it's like a bear paw, and then inside of the bear is like inside of the paw is like a detailed bear face, or like a regular bear. Like I want it like slobbering, like looking mad as hell.
Like gnarly.
I'm gonna get it like on my shoulder there.
That'd be cool.
I like it, but you know I had it quoted, and they were quoting it at like $70,
It depends where you
$100.
go. It depends where you go.
Well,
Because I
The-
can
the
recommend
main-
some good artists that aren't very expensive around here. And I
true,
can
true.
tell you a lot of the places around here will give you quotes that are like I got this for $100, and you can see this is really good detail on my neck of all places. Awkward place. I mean, it takes certain artists to
True.
do that, and $100, and I went to a great artist. So
True,
it's like,
yeah.
It just depends where you go.
Definitely, but you know that I went to like 3 different places,
Really?
and they were all kind of quoting around that range just because of the detail I
detail.
wanted in
Yeah.
the bear.
Yeah.
Dang.
It was a little bit, which
Yeah,
you know
it's
I'm like,
expensive.
what, huh?
I bet it was badass though.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure if I paid that much and had it
Oh,
done
yeah.
by whoever it was,
Yeah,
I'm
they'd
sure I
do you
would
a
not
solid.
even be disappointed a little.
No, we have a lot of good artists here.
That's why I'm like, it's one of those things. Whatever the cost is, I'm like, yeah, I guess that's what I'm paying.
Eventually, yeah, it'll
Yep.
happen. You know.
And then, eventually after I just want my first one to be like super good.
Badass.
And then, after that, I'm like, yeah, I'll get a bunch of little ones or something,
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I don't care who does it. Let's make memories off of the rest of them.
Yeah.
So
Gotta break the
another
seal.
question: do you guys like cartoons?
Cartoons?
Yeah. Do you watch them when you're young, at all?
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
I watched Arthur.
What are your
Arthur.
favorite cartoons?
Arthur.
too.
I remember Arthur.
Arthur and Cyber Chase.
I grew up in a pretty strict household, so we had like an hour of
Yeah.
TV/video game time per day. And it was like mostly PBS stuff when I was young, so like Arthur was the shit, you know.
Arthur, I remember
Yeah.
Arthur.
And then
Arthur was the
SpongeBob
shit.
too. I love SpongeBob.
Yeah,
I wasn't allowed to
I-
watch that. I
It was
was
like one of the
Really?
best shows.
I wasn't
ever.
allowed to watch SpongeBob. I wasn't allowed to watch Rugrats, Teletubbies.
What is
Yeah.
wrong with
wasn't allowed-
Teletubbies?
I don't know. I forget
Well,
the
besides
specific
how
reason.
fucking creepy it is
I
when you
think
watch it as
mainly
an
that was the
adult.
reason, but like legit, like
When you're a
was
kid,
up
you're
with
like, yeah,
Teletubbies?
whatever,
Yeah.
this is
the
normal.
Rugrats were
They
like
were on
disrespectful or something to my
Yeah.
parents.
Who the fuck
so,
made
like, I wasn't
Teletubbies?
supposed to watch that
exactly,
stuff.
Exactly.
I grew up in a pretty
Barney?
conservative house.
What about Barney?
A little bit? A little
Yeah, I
bit.
watched some.
As
I probably
as
did
a-
when I couldn't remember.
I feel like, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like I watched a lot of Barney when
I was
I was
Yeah, when I
really
couldn't
young.
remember.
I don't
was
really
really young,
remember
yeah.
watching Barney much.
Arthur is what I remember mainly. Just at 5 o'clock, Arthur. Yes. And that's around when my
Every
dad
day.
came home from work and all that good stuff. Got
Yep.
to eat,
Yep.
all that stuff. So,
Same.
yep. And grew up on a farm, so it's like had a lot of stuff to do.
What kind of
outside.
farming did you do?
They
Was it
didn't-
like a animal farm, crop farm?
It
both?
had a barn when we first moved there. Like, I've been there for almost, holy crap, like 18, 19 years. But, no, it was an animal farm before.
What
then
kind
we-
of animal?
Sorry. That
You're all right.
Jewel killed me.
Yeah, that boulder
Oh,
thing. Yeah.
I'm fine. I
Right.
Anyway.
Can
I don't know how. It's been burning. But anyway, I think there were like cows or something. But we tore it down. And my dad built a baseball field. 'Cause I was
On
really into
your
baseball.
property?
Yeah. So we have a baseball field there.
That was dope.
Yeah, that's
so
fucking bitching.
we had my teams come out and practice there, and now we have like
Really?
softball or something, family gatherings. So we have a baseball field there and a little shed, and I have my St. Bernard and a really old style house that still has like a coal chute to heat up the house and cool
That's
stuff like
cool.
that.
I love
like
old
I said,
houses.
My phone was like this, like I had to do that, dial it like that,
But that
on
was
the
a
wall.
huge advantage.
I
in
love
baseball,
old
you know,
houses
just
minus
having
the
one,
wiring.
having
That's
baseball.
why I got really good. Yeah.
Old houses
mean,
are cool, but
it
the
was an old style.
wiring in them is not.
No,
I went-
engineering or
we went-
electrical engineering. the wiring in old houses was
Knob
just
and
No,
always
we didn't have air
dangerous.
conditioning.
Yeah.
I grew up with no air conditioning all summers.
Damn.
Never had air conditioning.
Lots
like we
of
didn't
box
have certain
fans.
things. Yeah, we had box fans like in the windows, but if we
Mhm.
weren't home, we weren't allowed to keep those on. So you'd walk home and it'd be so hot, and never had air conditioning
On a
until
hot
like
day
this
like
last
this.
year. Yeah, and then I of course moved out, and now
Thank
they have
God for air
conditioning.
conditioning. I say
Seriously.
that.
And we
On a
didn't
hot
even
day
have
like
heat
this,
for a
it's
while.
nice to come home to
I
a
like
nice
it so
AC on.
cold,
Exactly.
man. I like it
I like
65.
I'm a polar bear, dude. I
That's why
like
keep
it.
it on in my apartment.
I like it as
At
cold as it could
65?
get.
Yeah.
I keep
Especially
mine
when
at
I'm-
69.
Especially when I'm
69.
My girl-
sleeping.
Perfect.
Yeah, my
Right
girl
there for
can't
me.
take that though. So
Really?
I
Yeah.
have to sacrifice.
Yeah,
like
chicks
68.
chicks don't like it
We're
cold.
always cold.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
hey,
Get a
you know,
blanket.
you make a
sweater.
you make a cold cuddling time
Exhaust
happens
every
more
other
often.
There you go. Yeah, just make it cold and then be like, Danny, I'll keep it
Hey,
cool."
yeah.
There you go. But yeah, no, I try to keep my house as cold as possible. I love it. I get in a deeper sleep when it's cold too.
Yeah.
Everyone
Get a
does. It's
nice
actually
bath.
a
That's like
scientific.
actual-
It's
I
actually
don't
a
know why.
scientific thing. Yeah.
My son sleeps way better when it's kind of colder in the house. And
I like
not
it.
too cold.
I'm like, if I could wake up with frost on the blanket, I would.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
I
Like,
love
like
it that
camping.
cold.
Like it's fine with me in camping.
Yeah.
It's just the moist, like when
Oh.
it gets
yeah,
moist
the
on the inside. You're
dew.
like, oh.
Yeah, I don't like
But I
any
love
of
the
that.
coldness and like seeing your breath and all
Or
that.
you
stuff.
like
I love camping.
you like
I love
roll
that.
over and hit the edge of a tent and it just
It's
like rains
freezing.
on you.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn it! Now I'm
Yes.
awake.
No, dude, that I love camping. All of the things that come along with camping in any way.
I just went camping this weekend. It was
Amazing.
A lot of fun.
I'm jealous.
Plans
Me
change.
too.
sadly.
Seen
Oh,
bald
shit, when I
eagles
haven't been
and
lucky.
all kinds of things there. So it's
I
a lot
could've
of fun.
gone
We didn't
camping.
really catch
Dang.
a whole lot. The rain that we just got really threw the fishing way off.
Really?
They got like a crazy amount of rain. I'm sure like most around in Indiana.
We did, yeah.
Probably. I
They
wasn't
got
in
probably
Indiana.
at least 3 inches of rain and
When? This last weekend?
Yeah.
I was what? Really?
Yeah,
we didn't get any
I
rain.
lost
I was
power.
in.
just look at the rivers when you're driving through Fort
That's
Wayne.
crazy.
They're all way up.
It was crazy.
Holy crap!
It
That's
was
weird.
insane. It just like didn't stop raining.
It did not.
I
It
didn't
was like
see any
thundering
rain.
and lightning bad too. It
Yeah.
wasn't just
The
raining, it was
worst,
loud.
dude.
I
In like
woke
the
up
last
from
5 years, I haven't heard it.
Are you
thunder and lightning
serious?
Like that. Yeah.
Why didn't I? I
was
was literally
nuts.
like
It
2
was
states over and
nonstop.
didn't.
At
didn't
least
get
early
any
that
rain.
morning when it woke me up, it was like nonstop for
woke
2
me up.
hours.
Yeah, it rained
Yeah.
hard, and it really wasn't all that windy where I was at least for the weekend. It really wasn't windy. It just cut loose and did not stop for hours. I was trying to fish.
People in Florida are probably like, whatever, man.
Yeah,
Try a hurricane.
bitching about some rain. Yeah. Try a hurricane.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Try a hurricane out. See how you do.
So another good question, subjective definitely. What do you guys think happens after death?
This, answer your own free will. If you don't want to get into this topic, that we won't. But
Yeah.
I'll get into it. I don't care.
I think there's something after. I don't know. Feels like you
Yeah.
build up so much momentum in this life. I don't know. That's what I like to believe.
just to put a stop to it, like lights
Yeah,
out kind of thing.
yeah.
Definitely not a lights out kind of thing.
Just
I
done.
mean-
Just done. Everything's
Done. Yeah, no way.
I don't believe it's like that. I think
Everything's
there
too
is something
connected.
after.
Everything's
Yeah.
too connected.
It's like something, goes on. I don't know.
If
I
there's
don't know
something,
where.
so if supposedly, I mean, some people will say this is where I stand. Okay, some people will say they believe everything was created out of nothing, Big Bang. But if what created nothing then? How could something come from nothing? So that's basically what some people say. They believe it's the Big Bang, but I personally don't believe anything can come from nothing. So I do believe something or someone had to have started something. Now, specifically, I probably don't want to get into that, but I mean, specifically, I believe that there's a certain person who created the earth and that there is something that happens when you die. And you go, I mean, it's
so are you
determined
a-
on your lifestyle.
So
It's
would you
determined on
leave
your
with
beliefs, your faith.
Christianity?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would also.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably what I closest relate to, but I wouldn't consider myself religious. I don't consider myself like, do this, then God will love you. It's more like
Not
it's
like
a
Catholic
relationship.
kind of thing.
It's a relationship for me. It's personal. So it's like we all have our ups and downs. I have my ups and downs with my own dad. things like that. And sometimes you don't want to talk to them, and sometimes you really need advice. So it's like that for me. That's kind of
Yeah.
how I picture my relationship. So
I feel like that's how it is for almost anyone.
yeah. So everybody like music. Everybody
Religion
has their
is
own
always
interpretations.
personal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So-
Same with music. It's always personal.
Yeah. And I mean, people always want to argue that kind of stuff, but it's just, I just try to keep it as simple as possible. It's a relationship for me, and so it's just like any other relationship. I don't get into the whole nitty gritty details.
Sometimes it's
of
a
that.
relationship that you don't want, but
yeah,
you need.
because it could cause problems.
Yes.
When you open yourself up to a certain point, you got to be around the right people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it could cause problems.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I try not, especially in my line of work. It's just a lot of people will ask advice on certain stuff, or I've had religious questions, people asking certain things, and I might not be able to relate because I don't believe in that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's hard, but I answer to the best of my ability.
Religion is one of those things, even though, no matter the music you create or whatever, it's one of those things that's always going to be separate and personal
Yeah.
as could be. Like,
Exactly.
you will never feel what that person feels. That's religion.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where I guess I stand on that.
Definitely.
I feel like we're here to just like learn a lot and like just be
Yeah.
the best we can be. Just be nice.
Yeah,
be
there's so many
kind,
new things
make
to learn.
relationships, network with people,
Exactly.
build everlasting relationships, people you can connect with and trust and be loyal to.
Yeah.
One
It's human
thing
connection.
One thing I know, no matter what religion, any religion, everything would have to agree that this life, everything is just a billion times more beautiful because it's got a limit.
Mm.
You got a time limit on everything.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
no
Yes.
matter
That's
what
fine
an
with me.
afterlife is, like this life right now, you got a time limit, and so everything in this life is more beautiful than anything that
Exactly.
anything.
It's
I listened to
priceless.
it's priceless. Exactly. This is limited. You only get one shot, and it's
chance to blow.
100 times more
Yeah.
beautiful.
That's why I don't spend
Unless
my
you
time
die
on
and you
dumb
wake up
shit.
and they're like, what place do you want to go back to?
Do
What
you
part of your life
know
you wanna go back
Yeah.
who
to,
Joe
you know?
Rogan
That'd be
is?
nice.
We don't know.
You know who Joe
Definitely
Rogan is?
know
He's
what-
the reason
Joe
why
Rogan is?
we started this and stuff. He's the inspiration.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There, I was listening to Joe Rogan. He had like part of his stand-up that he does, and he made such a great point. He was like, "So we're floating on a ball in the middle of space, and there's an even bigger ball that's on fire that heats it up, and nobody ever talks about that. Nobody talks about the amazing facts of just like what life is originally. We're floating in space, and there's something that if you look at it too long, you could go blind, but you need it for vitamin D. But then again, if you go without it, you get sad. It's like,
Yeah.
that's such a weird world. If you
That
really
is.
think about it, the world that we live in is so high tech.
Bizarre.
We watch movies like that, but really, if an alien came here, they'd be like, they wouldn't know to not look at the sun too long because it'll make you blind. But we do, and it's just weird that that's a ball of fire up there, and we're floating, spinning.
And it
it's just like-
is the
a
source
weird
of all
world.
life.
Yep, it's the source
All
of
energy, all energy that's transferred on this earth is from that.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
which is insane. So it's like nobody ever talks about that stuff.
yeah.
Like we
Nature's
just kind of take it for
intelligent.
granted. We're just here, and we worry about the small problems that are here and right now. To whereas, why don't we just appreciate the fact of like life
Life.
and what we are? Like,
Why don't
that's
we
where
appre-
we are?
I don't
Why don't we
spend time-
appreciate that we are here?
Exactly. Rather
And-
than you believe in that, well, I believe in this, and that's going to cause problems, and I don't like you for this. No, we're all on
We're
the
here-
same
we're
ball,
here, yeah.
floating in space, heated by a sun. And if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all have that in common. We're all living, and we all are.
Definitely.
wanna
You know,
be able to
definitely.
talk
the
Like-
same energy.
I-
So that's enough in common
Like-
right there to treat each other right.
We're humans.
what I believe.
It's just be
Yeah.
a good person kind of thing, you know.
That's why
It's like why do we even have lines in the dirt that separate us?
Yeah.
You know
It's-
why? North Korea, South Korea,
I don't
a line in
understand all
a line in the dirt of the same people, and if you cross it, you will die. Kind of stuff.
There's
Why?
no
Why do we
fair
even have
there.
that? We're all
Like-
we're all the same
Yeah.
in our own different way. You know, we're all basically the same. We're all alive right now, even though we're so
I
different.
don't understand
it's,
it. I won't understand
That's,
that.
I mean, that's why I don't spend time doing petty stuff and worrying about like insecurities. I'm just here to like live my life and do and experience so much shit with like the people I care about. And
The thing
before I
about life
die.
is it's a feeling, you know.
Mhm.
It's not about a certain doing something. You do everything you do to feel.
Yeah.
You know, that's life.
It's emotions. Yeah.
Exactly.
How you feel about something. I feel like this. I feel like eating that. I feel like talking to this person. I feel like, and everything is reserved about feelings, and so it's
Do
human
you
connection, and I
do you
that's
think
what
there
everything
is a
comes to.
free will, or do you think
Oh, good question.
it's
I
ju-
think that-
everything's just determined, or
It's
already
it's,
decided?
It's hard to say because
Are we on,
you
like,
know
a
so much
track?
stuff out that happens in day-to-day life that is way out of control. Like there, like you know, say there's a shooting and that
Mhm.
kid got shot. Like what other, you know, that was out of control and there was no other way without that happening, kind of thing. Like if
person
that
chose to
happened,
do that, yeah.
yeah, that happened and it's like that. So it's just so hard to
Yeah.
determine that, like, was that free will or did he just happen to be there at the wrong place in the wrong time?
I think that there's like you said, it's like life. What's beautiful about it is it all comes to an end at a certain point. We all come to an end, and I think that there's free will, but it's like if we were running and there was a cliff down here and that's the end of life, all life, and we're running, we have the free will to choose how we get there, and we have the free will to take this direction or this direction and do this. That could lead us further to the end of life, or it could leave us,
Yeah,
bettering and
I
making and
agree.
longevity. So I believe that there's literally a definitive death, which will end you, but you have the choice of, how you're going to live your
long
life,
you
and some
want-
choices will lead you
Yeah.
to get faster there, and some choices will,
This 27
the way you
Club,
your
eat, the way you
choices,
live,
yeah.
all those things,
The-
your choices, who you hang out with, the things you put in your body, and the thoughts you put in your mind, like all those things have control, and are your free will. You can choose to do those things. There's nobody telling you to do those, but there is at some point.
I feel like it exactly the same. So you got this certain span, and it's some people live it faster
Yeah.
than others.
Yeah.
Like I said, the 27 Club as musicians, the age of 27 is almost haunted in
Yeah.
musician club. Just because it's fast life living. Those they experience. It's almost like the 27 Club experiences what 100-year-old man experiences. They just experienced 27 years.
All these emotions up and down and everywhere. and
Exactly.
just, I don't believe humans
Like
are meant to be
yeah.
worshipped or anything like that. So that's what's dangerous
I
about being
think
put
we're
in the
all-
spotlight and stuff like that is, along with what you're just saying, like some people can drive themselves crazy by being in the spotlight and having other
Exactly.
humans, because we're all imperfect. We're all living the same life, and we're all in the same spinning orb, but at the same time, we all have emotions and we all have choices. And
We've all lived through different life
Yeah.
experiences. and-
so, but there is an end of life for everybody.
But
Sorry.
like I said, it's hard to decide, like, is there a destiny?
Right.
You know what I mean? But because you come across so many crossroads of your life, and you're like, I went this direction,
And then
but
that's where it becomes
was
your
I
free will
meant
to
go
choose to believe in something.
Exactly.
Like, do you
Yeah,
want to
I-
believe in that?
yeah.
Do you not want to believe in that? I don't think that there's any God or figure that says you have to believe in me, otherwise you're going to die right now. I mean, I don't know of any gods that say that, but
Mm-mm.
I mean, they just want you to follow them, and I mean, it's your choice to follow there's so many different options.
There-
And you have the choice in what lifestyle you want to live and what you want to be a part of. And so I believe there's free will to choose to believe in something. If it ultimately ends up being right or wrong, you had the free will of choosing to believe.
I have to agree there's free will, but then it's hard to deny that there's destiny too, because I mean, just look at like athletes, kind of like
or does it need,
what else were
yeah.
they gonna be doing in their life?
Right.
Were they gonna be a great artist?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. They were an athlete. They were built to be an athlete. Like, it's hard to describe. You know what I mean?
But I would think that way, like, I believe I was built to be an athlete. When I played sports, I started playing sports, I was built like an athlete. I could jump, run, all these things, and I could do it really well.
And you chose.
And
the
then I
music.
chose music
Yeah.
over that, and it was my choice. So I
True.
believe, like, there's a destiny of that, but at the same time, people can choose. I'm very athletic. I'm gonna choose to just do sports now, or I'm very
Definitely.
athletic, but I like music, so I'm just gonna choose music. And
That's why they say, whatever you choose, it's what's in your heart
Yep.
is what makes you great. Whether
Yeah.
whether you're an athlete or not, if it's what you it's the one thing you want.
yeah.
you know, you're probably gonna be great at it. If you're
Very true.
absolutely, that's your one desire is to be a great musician, you're probably gonna be great at it.
Right.
As
Some
long as you
people,
put in
their
the
one
work.
desire is to make a lot of money. You know, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I
No, that
mean.
makes
Like
sense.
that's
Some
they just
people find their
desire.
thing and
They desire different things.
Yeah. I
They
think-
want it more than other people want
But
it.
I wonder what makes people want different things.
Right?
Like, is it just the family they grew up in, who their parents were,
Right.
what
Different.
their situation was?
You
If
know-
I lived your life, would I be you?
No, that's weird that you say
What
that
are you-
because I'm adopted and like I didn't meet my birth mom until I was 18, and I didn't know anything about her or my family until I turned 18 because it was my decision at that point, legally. So at that point, I had already been singing, I had already been modeling, I had been playing sports, and I had kidney issues and some other stuff that like physically wrong with me. And it was just weird. It was just all stuff like I lived.
You
my
had
life.
your you had your own
And
problems.
then I met my birth mom, and she had the same physical problems. Like met my birth brothers and sisters. Like they had the same look, they had the same hobbies and interests, and it's like, could it be connected to your nature, or is it a part of your nurture where you're at? See, I'm adopted, but I was put into a different family originally. And was it about how I grew up that led me to be, you know, athletic and want to model and do all that music, or was it already in my nature by who I was born by? it's nature versus
think
Your
everything.
biology, your genes.
Yeah, was it already in my genes to be good
Well,
at music and
is
sports?
personality
Well,
passed through
think
genes, or
think
is
of
it
what
just
talent
your-
is. Talent is a physical attribute.
Yeah.
And so that is definitely passed down by your genes.
Right.
Talent is always focused at a physical
well,
attribute.
Unless it's what if it's your IQ or something? Is that
Yeah.
That's
Have
a
they
that's a
proved that that's
genetic.
passed down
But
through
Yeah,
you can
genetics?
definitely.
study to be smart. You have
Yeah.
every,
But
I mean-
most people have the
some
capability.
people
Some
have to
people
work
don't.
harder.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
some people
yeah.
have to. I mean,
Because-
dyslexia. I have that, and I had that throughout.
I
high
mean,
school, and
just-
it's hard
just
for me
think-
to read. It took me
Yeah.
a little bit longer.
Just
but
in like high school,
yeah,
you know, there
just
was
have
the
all these
people
smarter
who never
nowadays.
studied and
Yeah.
got A's on the test, and then there's me that busted ass and got C's.
I
you
barely
know,
passed.
Yeah.
I literally got
Yeah.
all D's in high school. I just did not give a fuck. Like,
there's
I
just
should've.
there's
I think back,
just
I should've,
definitely
but-
things that you're just genetically gonna be the best at.
Yeah. It's like
predisposed to,
there's a
or-
quote that says, "Those who believe they can and those who believe they can't are both usually right." So it's whatever you believe in. It's if you
Yeah,
believe you
yeah,
can do
definitely.
it, you can do it. You're usually
find
right
a-
if you stick to
Humans
it.
are crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll find a way to do it.
You read
That's
success
the
stories and
crazy
it's
part
like,
is
what?
the adaptability of humans.
Yeah.
Is, you know, like a 400-pound man can go from 400 pounds to 150 pounds in his lifespan. That's pretty
That's true.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
insane.
that's a way adaptability. You know, a twig person can go from being a
Yeah.
twig to a shredded man in his lifespan. You know,
That's crazy.
that's the
have
adaptability of us.
Capability. I'm gonna play some music. You want me to play some music?
Yeah, definitely. Let's
Oh, yeah.
let's
Let's
get
That
on.
was a good ass conversation.
Yeah.
I loved it. We definitely have more.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have you guys back after you drop your EP. We can maybe discuss how you
That'd be cool.
think
Yeah.
about that.
Should I just leave the mic like right there?
What do you think?
Yeah,
Really loud if it was up here.
Yes, that's a good idea.
You think like right here?
Yeah, just yeah,
Or will
exactly.
you get some
Point it.
surrounding from this? I'll kind of point mine towards you too.
Just watch the. Yeah.
I don't know what I want to play.
Play.
Trying
I
to
Want
decide
You
what I
Back?
should play.
I want you
Huh?
back.
I want you back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Play that one.
Play a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
Got a tune.
It's crazy 'cause every time another car passes me by, I'm looking to see if it's you, hoping that you're by my side. I know that you're not that far, just want you back in my arms. Sorry for the way I was, just need you here back by my side. Ever since the day you left me, I've been holding on to nothing but hope. not so naive to think that you don't still think of me. But ever since the day you left me, I've been holding on to nothing but hope. And that you lie awake in your bed and remember the words that I said. I want you back. I want you back with me. That you lie awake in your bed and remember words that I said. I want you back. I want you back with me.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
Bro. That's pure talent, man. I love it.
That was
That's so
beautiful.
Like it. That's that slow song. That's my
Yeah.
first slower song. But I play it kind of faster.
Good. Gives me goosebumps listening to you guys'
Really?
music. Talent. Man.
Alright.
So good.
Talent.
I feel it.
A lot of emotion in that voice.
Definitely.
Soulful, man.
What do you want to do?
You guys want to play anything else?
That's
You're
all
welcome
you.
to it.
Yeah.
Tuesday? You want anything? Do you want to play anything?
Nah,
No.
I'm good. Yeah.
I'm fine. I'll stay ghosty.
I'm the ghosty. Yeah.
I can play one more.
Alright, bet.
And then
Yeah.
be done. I played this. I was just in Kentucky and I played this. It's kind of a funny story. I was at this festival and I wasn't supposed to play at this festival. I was supposed to play somewhere else. And I walked up and the guy that was just performing at this festival walked off stage, and I'm always looking for opportunities to network and stuff like that, you know, talk to new people. And I said, how'd you book this? You know, what do you do? Who are you? And all this stuff, just kind of networking in different ways and getting to know him. And he was like, dude, I wish you had a little bit of time to like go up there and just play something randomly. And I was like, who said I don't have time? So I went up and I played this song, and it blew pretty much everybody away because they didn't expect this sound from me. The area that I was in was very upper class, very upper class, and just somebody that looked like me. It was just weird for them to see on stage. But then at the end, they were all like my
They were
fans.
about
So
it.
yeah,
They were
it was
about
cool.
it.
They loved the sound. So this is the song that I played. This is unreleased, but I'm sure I'll release it sometime.
Never knew it hurt this bad. 1,000 miles from your bed, holding back tears that I cried. If I could look in your eyes one more time, I know you hurt yourself. You really hurt me too. But now that I'm gone, there's only one thing left to do. I'm moving on. I'm moving
Oh, yeah.
on, yeah. Remember those warm summer nights when I'd hold you closer and so tight? Does my love mean nothing to you anymore? I know you hurt yourself. You really hurt me too. But now that I'm gone, there's only one thing left to do. I'm moving on. Moving on, yeah. I'm moving on.
Amazing.
Fuck
I
yeah,
love it.
dude.
Yeah.
I love
Hell
it.
yeah.
It's good as fuck.
Beautiful.
I wrote that in
Smooth.
Colorado after my
the girlfriend at the time and I broke up. And I was like so mad and so bitter. And I was in Colorado and I was just smoking a lot of weed and stuff like that. And I was just like, I'm moving on. And I wrote that song and just came out with that. I was like, screw it. But it came out
Most people
so
can
good.
relate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
Some-
mean,
yeah.
that's one of those songs. It's like
Definitely.
just talking about emotions, and then I think my voice translates that. It just
Definitely.
makes you feel like I've been through
You got a very
some
soulful
pain and stuff like
voice.
that.
Soul voice.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
So that's a
man.
new
It's
age
straight
soul
That's,
sound.
That's what. As soon as I heard your voice, I hit him up because I saw a video that he did. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to make a song or something with him because I was like, damn,
It turned
this
into
guy,
way
this guy's
more.
super talented. And yeah,
Definitely.
we fit really well. So
Yeah. Exactly. So that's
the
what.
rest is history, right?
Yep. I have a lot of unreleased music like that and things like that. So I think we've talked about it that when we try something new, we'll probably try to show a more of acoustic side or something like that.
Yeah.
Get his brother Jonah Baker in on something like that, or just get some collabs going.
Guys do.
So
That was phenomenal.
yeah,
Was,
I appreciate it. Thank
I
you.
can't wait for the CP to drop.
See,
out.
The
All
EVs
right.
and
It's
Yeah.
almost that
Stay
much
on the
better.
lookout.
It's almost that much better with this guy mixing on it too. You know what I mean?
No, it adds so much
It's-
more.
So much more. That's like soul, pure soul. He puts a whole nother vibe on it. It's
Right.
phenomenal. With you
Yeah.
two doing music, it's phenomenal.
That's
like
why
I
I
said.
Collab
think people
very
need
well.
to check it out.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm stoked for it.
I'm excited. So, and I'm thankful that I was able to be on this
Oh,
podcast.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
thankful
thank
for
you guys.
for
Yeah,
being
inviting
here.
us,
This
yeah.
definitely won't be the last time.
Yeah, we'll
Dope.
have you
definitely
back.
do it again.
have you
Yeah,
guys
we'll
on.
do it again. That would be super cool. I think a lot of people. I need to start doing more things like this. You know, or
Get to
at
know
least-
you a little bit
yeah,
more.
get
yeah.
to know me a little bit more because a lot of people just know my image online, and it's so much different.
That's so
than what-
condensed.
who
There's
I
a
am.
person
Yeah, it's
behind
so
the
condensed.
image. Yeah,
There's a person behind that, and especially as an artist. So
definitely.
And that's why I like
People
to
are gonna
split
like
up
to hear
in
this
two
stuff.
sections, like all about like your music or like depending on who's on here, your work, and
Right.
then, like
Yeah.
the second half, like personal questions, like what's your subjective view on life after death, or what's your
Yeah,
favorite
that's
cartoons,
cool.
like
We try
Well,
to
learn
we try to
about you,
really
let them know who
represent
you
you
yeah,
as a person, not just
Not
of
just
what
we
what
do.
you're
Just as an
doing.
artist,
You know what I
that's
mean?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
thank you
kind of
for
our
having
goal
us.
when we have on.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Yes.
we're about
thank you.
100 or an hour and 40 minutes in, so we're gonna wrap this up now.
Cool.
but
Oh, yeah.
we really appreciate you guys being
Yeah,
on. and we'll
definitely.
see you
Hell
guys
yeah.
on.
Follow
And
me
then-
on social media.
Yep, all the links will be down below. Go follow me on
Yeah,
social.
lots of good
Spotify,
music
listen
coming.
to them.
Yeah, lots of really good music, soulful, retro
You
music.
guys have any like last words or anything you want to say?
Leave people better than you found them.
Yeah.
That's
Seriously.
There you
the
go.
one, that's
Be
the one.
professional and trust your process.
There
Those
you
two
go.
things are very important. So
Alright.
That
Alright,
was
sign us out.
that was it on the Long Trip podcast. We thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we had our podcast, but damn,
But this
we-
was a good
back
start.
yeah,
This is an
damn.
amazing start.
we
Alright.
we waited for a good moment. And it was a good podcast. I felt like
Right,
so.
that was worth
I mean,
it.
you were
It's
really
gonna be
busy
amazing
moving and all
podcast.
that stuff. Too, so.
Definitely,
That was
but
the majority of it and stuff.
Cool.
but-
hell yeah,
Alrighty,
we out.
we're signed out.